show you got heart. Now we're playing the game and we're totally scoring, learning how to make a virtual business boring, showing up every morning, ready for the show. I'ma get ready. Cold engaging virtual meetings 2.0.
All right, I'm John Chen, your host for the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. If you're watching here live on social media, and hopefully we got a few beautiful viewers today, make sure and click subscribe, share, like, and comment. You ask a question on air, we might actually even answer it. Go to engagingvirtualmeetings.online for all the episodes. Do you know there's over 244 episodes queued up into 2027 with a new episode releasing every Wednesday? Check it out. And if you want to be more engaging in the world, make sure and get your phone out, turn on the camera, scan this code for a free ticket to the Engaging Retreat this year, October 20 through 22nd, right here live in Seattle and online anywhere where you can click a button. Speaking of clicking a button, I'm going on a 24-day road trip. So I'll be going through Austin, New Orleans, Portland, and Las Vegas. So if you're in any of those cities, you want to see me in the next 24 days, let me know. Give me a shout out. Say, hey, what's up? And it could be coffee, beverage time. But meanwhile, this person has traveled a lot, including to Japan. We got a special guest coming back on the show. She's the founder of Burton Consulting International. She helps global companies build communication, tech fluency, and cross-cultural competency, if I can say it right. Drawing on her deep ties to Japan and from her time as an exchange student and later a resident of Osaka. And she was inspired by nearly not one, not two, but 40 visits to the Expo 2025 Osaka, and so much so she created the Osaka Expo Adventures A to Z series to help English learners explore pavilion exhibits and global cultures while building language confidence. Please, let's welcome back the one and only Yvonne Burton.
Hey, hello, John. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. So happy to be here, John. Thanks for having me again. I really appreciate it.
Now, wait a minute. You came your way back to the States. You are currently residing in
In Florida. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Flow Rider. Excellent. And what was your reentry back like this time? You know, I don't know if you have that, like you go to foreign countries, you come back, and it's a little different, right?
Definitely. Well, last year for the expo, which was over the course of 6 months, I was actually in Japan for about 8 or so months. And that's the longest I've been in Japan since I lived there many years ago. So coming back was a bit strange because I really got into the habit of living there again. So it
Yeah.
was kind of that reverse culture shock. But luckily, I was chained to my computer writing this book. So I dealt with the culture shock pretty easily because I was too focused on this book to pay much attention.
You were still kind of there. All right. Well, do us a favor. A few of my friends still don't know who you are. Why don't you take this time to say who you are, what you do, and most importantly, why did you write this Osaka Expo Adventures book? Take it away.
All right. So I'm Yvonne Burton, and many years ago, I lived in Japan. And then I moved back to the States and worked in technology. And about right around the pandemic, I started my own consulting business, Burton Consulting International, do tech fluency. Right now, it's about mostly the remote work tools and how to more effectively use them. And of course, communications, cross-cultural communications. So that's what I do. And usually now I go to Japan about once a year. And last year, there happened to be a World Expo in the city I used to live in, Osaka, city I love, my old hometown. And I thought, you know what? This is really incredible for Osaka, for the Kansai area, which is where they call the area that the region that Osaka is in, and of course for Japan and the world. And for those of you who don't know, the designation World Expo happens every 5 years, and countries bid on it, just like I think the Olympics. And Osaka won the bid again. This is their second expo. They had one about 50 years ago, and this was their second major one, World Expo. And maybe there was another. I might be mistaken, but please don't hold it against me. But this World Expo in Osaka every 5 years. And I really thought it was so important and incredible for the region and for Osaka to show its face to the world, to be more on the world stage. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go. I got my season pass and I'm going to write about every visit. I didn't think it would be quite almost 40, but that's what it turned out to be. It was so exciting and incredible, and the theme was about, designing future society for our lives. So it was about technology and advances in healthcare and taking care of the planet, sustainability, and just the countries that came, the pavilions, the exhibits, the people. It was just an amazing thing. And I'm so privileged to have been able to go so often and writing about it. And of course, you, John, interviewed me while I was there. So I was talking about it while it was happening. And when it was over, October 13th, the 6 months went by so quickly. It was from April 13th until October 13th. I was really sad. And I thought, what am I going to do with all this writing, all this energy, all this love and appreciation of the expo? So I thought I'd turn all that into a book. That's how Osaka Expo Adventures A to Z was born. So I came home and after the expo, and I just started turning all of the blog posts, articles, everything, and had the idea to create two characters, two Japanese teenagers who have been studying English for a while. And their English teacher challenged them to go to the expo and use it as a global classroom. So it was about learning about different cultures that they might not have been exposed to before, and asking pavilion staff members from all over the world questions and learning about cultures and really seeing that people are just people, no matter where they are from or their culture. It's really, countries are just people, not just what you see on TV, politics and all of that. So that's kind of what I was thinking when I wrote this, and it just kept evolving into this book, and it's spread across two volumes. Volume one, which is out now and available, where you purchase books. It's volume one is the letters A through M, and what it is each letter is a country pavilion. So A for United States of America, B for Brazil. And of course, at the expo, there were multiple countries, with that start with the same letter, but I focused on one based on experience. But in the workbook that I also created, I made sure I made note of the other countries starting with the same letter as well. I can't hear you, John. Can you hear me?
There we go. How about this?
Perfect. There you
Let's take a
go.
little tour of the expos here, and it looks like let's see. You were Osaka. Here's
Yep,
2025.
yep.
It looks like
20.
Riyadh is coming up next in Saudi Arabia, but you've been in
Yes,
Dubai, Milan, Shanghai, Hanover, Seville, Osaka. So this is the second Osaka.
yes, yes.
Montreal. We need Seattle for our second. Is this 1962 when the Space Needle was built? Expo?
Maybe. I
I
guess so. I
I
didn't
believe
know a
it.
lot about expos. So this was a great learning experience for me and all the new things that have happened in the past expos
Yeah,
as
so this
well.
is man in the space age. See that Space Needle
Yes.
was completed, and actually, we just visited the Space Needle, and they barely made it on time. But the monorail was also built just for this expo, and it's still in existence and running today. So what's your takeaway from this year's expo for writing this book? Like, give me three little known but like amazing facts to you that you highlighted in your book.
Okay, so all the pavilions, again, with the theme, it was around sustainability, the planet, future living. So, of course, technology, innovation, new ideas. And it was just really great to go into pavilions, both, large and small, to see what countries are doing to focus on creating a better future for us and the planet. So that was really amazing to see. And just to see the amount of work and effort that is going on behind the scenes, but also that all these countries can come together, Japan hosting them, all of them come together. Again, no matter what the relationship, the news, the headlines, the politics, they're all together trying to create something better for all of us because we're all human, we're all here together, and no matter what our differences, we all have the same challenges. People want to be healthy, people want to live better lives, people want to have a balance in their lives, people want to be safe, people want to have clean drinking water, people want to have be cool when it's too hot and warm when it's too cold. So that was a really wonderful thing to see, especially with what's happening in the world. Again, at the time, it was really nice to see all of these countries over the course of 6 months really being together. And of course, much longer because they've had to build this thing and work together. But I really like that. And not just the pavilions and the pavilion staff, but the attendees of the expo,
Hmm.
millions of people, standing in line and overhearing, Japanese people, people from America, people from Saudi Arabia, just really in the spirit of togetherness, of
Hmm.
oneness, of excitement and energy. Because at the time last year, I wrote about this that it was the first global event where we were kind of really just open and free because yes, 2020 had the Olympics, but it was kind of during the pandemic, so it was a little bit challenging.
Right.
But this was everybody was out, open, free, and the expo was just this beautiful, energetic, arms open place where everybody was together. And I really, really loved that. And that energy and just did something for me and I think most people that went.
So I'm studying about cultural quotient and the value of cultural quotient. And so, what do you think are one or two things that the expo did to make this an open environment, especially when some contexts and places of the world are being divisive? This doesn't feel like that, that this was a place that is open arms, welcoming, and values every culture. What did they do to do that?
Well, it was again, that's I think the purpose of global events like expos, and of course we just saw the World Cup. So again, countries are people and we tend to forget that, right? And when you think about politics on a larger level, it's hard to imagine like people that are just like you, same hopes and same dreams.
Eating
So
a
when
meal.
you're,
Right.
yes, right? When you're standing in line next to them, or when you're visiting their pavilion and they're showing you their culture and their food and talking to you and sharing their concerns about, their kids and their environment, you see that, oh my goodness, they're just like me,
Mm.
right? They're
Hmm.
just like me. Their cultures might be different, but they're human just like me. So one of the pavilions, France had this motif of the red thread, which is the thread that connects us all. And I thought that was so appropriate. So no matter where you travel to, um, where you go there because you want to connect with others, and that's what travel allows. So that's why there's so much people going everywhere because we want to meet people and see the similarities in ourselves and share of ourselves and have them share with us. So I think again, expos, World Cups, all of that is so very, very, very important. And yes, they're for a time frame, and but that carries forth. Like I left there full of wonder and joy and energy, asking myself, what more can I do? I want to go here now. I want to go there now. And I'm sure a lot of, because it was in Japan, a lot of the visitors, or of course Japanese, they've learned about places they might not have known about. And, for the foreigners who went, here they are in Japan, in a foreign country, also seeing this kind of inclusive ways of being and just learning so much more about countries that or people you might never come across other than in a space like this, like an expo.
Do you have a goal or a hope for the book?
Yes, I hope, well, yes, I hope people like it. That's the
Mhm.
most important thing. Of course, I want to sell copies, but it's most important that it provides value and people like it. So again, I was lucky. I had the time and the affordability to go so many times. So I saw a lot and learned a lot and experienced a lot. You know, a lot of people who went, especially in Japan, there's limited days off from work, and the lines were long for some pavilions, so they couldn't see more than one or two on their one visit or two visits to the expo. I went 40 times and I didn't see everything. And every time I went from open to close
Wow.
because there was just so much, right? So rich.
Mhm.
So for the people who went to Expo and appreciated and loved it, this is a chance to maybe relive it a little bit and certainly to see things that they might not have seen or learn about pavilions they didn't get into.
Mhm.
And for people who didn't even know about this expo, because you know people, a lot of people, of course, didn't know, and it's far away in Japan, they can now get a glimpse of what this truly incredible global event was like. And the format I took with the book is English language learning because, for those studying English in Japan and the world over, it's a great study tool with a global event as the background, as the what do you call it, classroom, so to speak, right?
Mhm.
It's kind of it's an experiment for me to do it in this format, but I thought even for non language learners, English learners, people who speak English already, you get to still learn a little bit about the expo, about this pavilion, this exhibit, that exhibit. And I think that's really valuable. And these two characters, Mickey and Ichiro, are, like I said, teenagers studying English, and they're a composite of different ideas, different people I ran into.
Mm.
Just, and I made them, younger and teenagers because that wild eye wonder and openness and willing to, push through fear and embarrassment or worry about how, you speak. Do you speak well enough? So that was part of the lesson as well to say your English doesn't have to be perfect. Um, just go out there and speak, ask questions, say hello, and just keep
Mm.
going. And you can
Japanese
still
doesn't
connect
have
with
to be
people.
perfect, right? Your Japanese doesn't have to be perfect either. You
So
know,
that's a high.
people most
Yes,
often people would appreciate even the effort
yes.
of trying to attempt to learn their language, especially key or basic words. So, talk more about the characters. Why did you develop two characters as opposed to writing it from your own perspective or just a purely factual perspective?
Well, when I did all the visits and I wrote my blog, it was mostly about, oh, what I saw, what I thought, pictures and stuff like that. So I think everybody was kind of sick of me, or I was sick of me. And again, because I wanted it to be about language learning, wouldn't be credible for me to be asking basic questions or challenging myself that I don't, can you repeat that word or what does that word mean? So definitely I wanted to make the characters um, some somebody other than myself. And I wanted two of them, a boy and the girl. And because of my background with Japan and my love for it and my appreciation of it, and the fact that I also used to teach English when I lived there, part time, I wanted to bring that experience into it as well to really challenge the learning. The book is all in English. I didn't want to put any Japanese in it for explanations, and it kind of, I call it a mishmash. In my letters to the readers, I kind of explain it goes like this, right? So some things are easier, some things are more challenging, and some conversations are short, some, interchanges between Miki and Ichiro and pavilion staff are longer, but they tend to use simpler language, and maybe the shorter conversations use more complex words. So I wanted to challenge people to stretch themselves. They
Hmm.
don't have to, chapter A, of course, would probably be the easiest because it's the start. And if you already know it, great. It's great for review. If it's too difficult, then it's something you can grow into. This is not just a one-time book. And again, this is only volume one. The letters Country Pavilions A through M. Volume two will be out at the end of August, letters N through Z. And the characters, again, language learners, inquisitive, curious, wanting to learn, have certain ideas at the start. Oh, my English has to be perfect. But as they go through the book and the chapters and the conversations, you see that they kind of come out of their shell and become a little bit more bold, where they're also sharing about their country a little bit with the pavilion staff. I wanted to drop those things in there as well. So it wasn't just them learning about the different countries, cultures, exhibits. It was also saying, oh, yeah, we have something similar in Japan. And yes, that is, something that I thought too, to really get this exchange and interchange and connection and curiosity and just everybody kind of sharing about themselves and learning from each other.
Well, let's give us a little sneak preview. What countries are you featuring for N and Z?
Okay, so for N will be the Netherlands,
Oh, I
right?
was thinking Nigeria, but Netherlands, good.
But again, in the workbook, there's a country connections exercise in every chapter of
Hmm.
the workbook, and that lists the other countries starting with the same letter. And then it's more of a proactive learning experience where I say, go look at a map or do some simple research to answer these questions.
Hmm.
And the questions range for what's the major export of, Ethiopia, or, where's this famous waterfall located? So again, people can engage with those countries as well in some way. So the book is the conversations, and it's about 2 to 4, sometimes 5 conversations, depending on what was involved with the pavilion and the exhibits. It's kind of them walking through in my footsteps. And then the workbook is vocabulary exercises, comprehension exercises. There's think and reflect so that they can, I ask questions of the readers where they just have to sit and think a little bit. Like, for example, one of the exercises is, let's say kids in Kenya. What do you think children or young people in Kenya have in common with Japan or your country? So just get people to think a little bit, because it's through understanding and communication and connecting and curiosity that will solve a lot of our problems in this world, if people get to know each other a little bit better and see that we're more alike than we are different. And if we're different, that's fine. Yeah, we shouldn't all be alike. That's the beauty of the world and diversity. We
Okay, you
need,
gave us N. Who's Z?
well, guess Zimbabwe. Yeah.
Ah, it could have
So
been New Zealand, although I guess that's an N technically.
exactly. So it's Zimbabwe. And of course, you'll guess that there's no X country.
Oh,
So
really? There's no country that starts with X?
no, at least not that I know of.
Well, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna fact check this. Let's
I
see.
think I checked, and so I'll do something different for X, which will be basically X is for Expo, right?
Oh yeah.
And I'll talk about, did you find a country that starts with X?
No countries start with X due to historical, linguistic, and cultural naming patterns.
There you
Cities and
go.
regions begin with X, but these are not countries. For instance, Xi'an and Xiamen, two
Okay.
Chinese,
All
but
right.
no countries.
So
Interesting.
yeah, so
That's a good
X will
trivia. That's
be
good trivia. Yeah.
so X will be for Expo. And that's great because it helps me, it gives me the opportunity to talk about other things, non-country specific. For example, there was a lot of art on the grounds of the expo and landscape, and it was just beautiful. So I'll have conversations about that. And there was this incredible structure called the Grand Ring, which
Hmm.
was about, I call it the Sky Boardwalk. So it was
Hmm.
about four to
Oh yeah,
six stories up.
yeah. I saw that. Yeah, I remember your
Yes,
picture of it.
and it was just extraordinary. So I definitely give a shout out to the creators of that in the book, on the dedication page, acknowledgement page. So X will be for things like that. And of course, the theme of the expo, I want to talk about more. So all those things will kind of go under X for expo. And another really key part of it, for me, yes, the pavilions, the country pavilions were extraordinary. The people, the staff, the volunteers, wonderful, extraordinary. And that's who you came into contact with mostly. So you can always talk to them, say hi, say thank you. But the people who kept the grounds
Staff, like
tidy, yeah, the
co-workers. Yeah.
land, yes, the janitorial staff, the security staff, the volunteers who just cared so much they wanted to donate their time to help guide people around the expo.
Hmm.
Um, I wrote about them. I call It Takes a Village,
Yeah.
and it really did. And they were extraordinary. And you don't usually thank the person who's the bathroom attendant. I try to, and they, of course, with Japanese people, they're like, this is our job. We're happy to do it. But I'm just like, you don't know how extraordinary this is. If this were in any, well, specifically where I come from, like New York, an event where you're having like 200,000 people a day and not one messy trash can or anything, it was just extraordinary. So I definitely give a shout out to them as well.
Well, you've seen
And
that in FIFA, right? The Japanese fans will go and
yes,
clean the stands before
yes,
they leave.
yes, yes.
That is
That's
like their own cultural standard.
yes. And Japan as host, we all know that Japanese service is legendary, but
Yeah.
to really see it magnified at this event. Again, so many people every day for 6 months, and just above and beyond, just incredible, in awe. And I'm used to it, Japanese service, but this even blew me away. So all of those things, I think, just contributes to it all to have made it what it is. And I'm not saying that there weren't any issues. Of course there are. It's a major event. There are
Yeah.
tons of issues, but everything was always handled as best as possible. Everything that could be managed was managed. And for me, I'm an old solutions analyst, so if I see a problem, I immediately think of a solution. I just don't complain. But I understand that no project, no event goes off without a hitch. That's Nobody would expect it to. But to be able to handle what comes up as best as you can, as orderly as you can, as quickly as you can, and if you can't, figure out some workaround and certainly be accountable for it. The Japanese certainly do that.
What's the
So,
value for you? I'm about to present a program to the National Association of Catering and Events
mhm.
about cultural quotient. And what do you think is the value to you, the business value of having a high cultural quotient? In other words, a high understanding of multiple other cultures besides your own.
Well, again, just the same thing as countries are people, business is made up of people. So it's how you speak to them, interact with them, the nuances of behavior and subtleness that if you are aware that you can understand. And if something might be offensive to you based on your background, but from another cultural standpoint, that's normal behavior. So if you understand that, you'll know, okay, they don't mean it in X way, so I'm not going to take offense and then, cause friction in the team and then slow the project down and cost everybody money and bad feelings. So this cultural quotient, as you call it, is so important. to have at least a little bit of understanding and appreciation for the other country, the other culture, more countries and cultures than just your own. I think that goes very far in making um, multicultural teams more effective and just making dealing with people and productivity so much more than
All right.
if there was
Well,
always friction.
we're to the speed round portion of today's interview. While I've been talking with you, I've been writing questions, and we're going to see if I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You're going to try and answer them as fast as possible, and I'm going to
Okay.
play the distinctly Japanese Mario coin noise.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Uh,
Okay. Country that stands out to you?
for the expo,
Yes.
Saudi Arabia and Kuwait.
Ooh, good one. Best experience of the expo?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Kuwait.
Because.
There were these two lovely young women who were from the country and staff in it, and they were just so warm and welcoming and talking to them. And the pavilion itself was extraordinary. The ending, like planetarium experience was so beautiful. Just loved it.
Excellent. Okay. Best person you met in line?
Oh my goodness. Like everybody, but the young man from, can I finish?
Yeah, yeah.
The young man from that I met in the United States pavilion line from Saudi Arabia who had just come from New York and loves America and just was
Oh.
willing to wait in the hot sun forever just to get into the United States America pavilion because he just loved the country so much. He wanted to see
Wow.
how they were representing.
Outstanding. Okay. Best food?
Oh my God. Okay. Italy.
Oh,
Um, there were a lot of restaurants, but very hard to get into. I really wanted to get into Saudi Arabia, but always booked because the lines, it was just so popular. But Italy, the restaurant on top of the pavilion was wonderful, of course. And also Korea, Korean food.
but what'd
Awesome.
you eat there? What's the dish?
Well, bibimbap at the Korean
Korean.
and at Italy, of course, every kind of pasta that you can think of, and pizza and fabulous wine, and the staff in the restaurant, the staff in the pavilion were just extraordinary.
Excellent. Okay. Best exercise in the book?
Oh, oh, this is a good one. Um, oh my goodness, I really like the country connections exercises in the workbook because um, it gives people the chance to go out and learn a little bit about countries. They have to take the initiative, which is what it's all about. You have to be curious. You have to want to learn. You have to want to try and talk to other people of different cultures. So I love that I came up with the country connections exercises.
Aw. Okay, good. Most unexpected.
Oh, most unexpected. Most unexpected. How much I really, 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 really love the expo. John, I don't know why I was compelled to, I can't really put my finger on it, to go 40 times, to spend the hours writing about it, and then to write a book, like basically from 8 in the morning to like almost midnight every day. I don't know what was driving me. So that's what surprises me is how much I really appreciated and loved this event.
Hmm. Okay. Love that. Best learning format of the expo.
It's it's in real time learning, connecting, talking, and to see some of the kind of interesting things that countries are doing for our future.
Best art that you saw.
Oh gosh. Oh my God. There's so much all around.
I
The
know.
grand ring in and of itself is a structure, is art to me.
Hmm.
Putting that together. There was a lot of paintings and graffiti style, anime style all throughout just lovely. The um, art object in front of the Ireland pavilion was also just beautiful. Again, it was kind of circular and just inclusive and gold and just, yes, lovely.
Genius. Okay, best video,
Best video? Again, a lot of countries had videos to show.
right?
China, they did a really amazing thing. They did the 24-hour clock in China based on the Chinese, language and hours and what each hour is for and what it means. Just an 8-minute video of amazement, a day in the
Mm.
life, basically.
It's harder in 8 minutes than it is than in like an hour because you got to really chop. Okay, last question is if you could get people to magically remember one thing from this podcast, what is it that you want people to remember?
Events like expos, world expos, smaller expos, um, World Cup really is what is gonna save our world because they bring people together. They bring people together and connect people and show that we have love for each other. We really have love for each other.
Oh, wait. We have love for each other. Here you go. There's a bunch of hearts. So I think I
Oh,
can do
thank you.
this. Wait, can I do it this way here too? Let's see if this actually shows up.
Oh, yes, I see yours.
Uh,
Let me see
oh,
if
good.
I
This
can
one
do
I had
something.
to look. This one actually shows up on live stream. Okay, well, cool. Yvonne, thank you so much. There you go. Yeah, we'll do it again. And coming together, and I hope there becomes more of that because of your book. And congratulations, welcome back,
Thank
and
you.
we look forward to touching base with you as we hear more about the story of your book as it goes out into the world. Yvonne, thank you so much for being here on the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast.
Thank you so much, John, for having me. It was just extraordinary.
Excellent. Thank you, Yvonne.
Thanks.
All right, we've been talking with Yvonne Burton about the expo and her brand new book. And she just really says, what if we could actually just get people to be together? Imagine that. And if you're listening to this podcast, what gathering are you going to create to bring together? In fact, we just recently had a dinner party at my house. I love that only 12 people registered and then 22 people showed up. That's Seattle in a nutshell, right about there, people. But it was still a great gathering that everybody universally walked away and said, thank you so much for hosting that, and imagine a whole city being a host. In fact, Seattle was also recently the host for a collection of FIFA games, and people from around the world came here, and that to me is what hosting is all about. 5 years, you can join Yvonne. She'll be in Riyadh at the next expo, and maybe you could hire her to be your guide. But meanwhile, I'm your guide to the engaging world. If you've been listening, subscribe, share, like, and comment to any one of our social medias. If you want all the episodes, over 240 episodes at engagingvirtualmeetings.online, you'll get subscribe and you'll get a new episode every Wednesday with amazing guests like Yvonne Burton. Make sure if you want to learn how to be more engaging in the world, take your phone out, turn on the camera, scan the QR code, and come to the Engaging Retreat. Whether you're virtual or in person here in Seattle, it will be October 20, 21st, and 22nd here in 2026. And if you want to be like Yvonne or maybe her two characters and you want to be the next guest here on the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast, go to engagingvirtualmeetings.com/meet, select interview, and you too could be the next guest here on the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. That is not quite an expo, but it should be. And we will see you next time.
Don't we start people and keep whole people? Show you got heart.